Hello and welcome back to Charwell, the Farming Agency edition. Right, so this is the second episode. Basically we're going to be trying to crack on with the work today. We're going to be diving straight into it. Only some traffic on the road. Yeah, so we're going to be diving straight into it. Been looking at the fields. Been trying to get my head around what I'm going to be growing. Like I said, I've already got pretty much grass in 51, and I've got clover and alfalfa in these two, 52 and 62, and then horse grass in this field, which is perfectly fine. They're the ones I'm going to be using as well, but I'm planning on growing some pasture grass in field 64, and then I basically need to do some maize. I need to do some whole crop silage, and I need to do some oats. They're the basic ones that I need. So I'm thinking of doing the corn to make the maize silage from 61. I think the smallest field for that would be good because you do get quite a lot. And then maybe one of the bigger ones, maybe 53, we can do, I don't know, we'll do some crops, so maybe wheat for the whole crop silage. Let's say wheat in that one. And then we need to pick out of these two which one we're doing oats in. So maybe 63. And then we'll have field 54 left sitting there that we don't really need to do anything with because I've got another plan for carrots and for some either sugar beets or potatoes. And then what I'm going to be doing in 56 is going to be a field for profit. So we'll do a grain in there. We'll actually sell it as a grain, make some profit and make some, hopefully, some straw bales from there. So not too bad really in that field. That'll be simple enough when we get a bit of income. So let's say we'll do barley in 56, we'll do maize in 61, we'll do oats in 63, no actually we'll do some wheat in 63 for whole crop, and then we'll do oats in 53, we'll do oats in, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sell field 54, because I don't think we need it. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to drive up to these four fields here and just have a quick look at the 69, 70, 71 and 60. I want to purchase two of these fields, the smaller size ones, to do some carrots and to do some either sugar beets or potatoes in. The main reason for that is we don't actually need much crop of that. It's literally just going to be for feeding. So, anyone coming? Nope. Yeah, so we don't want to be doing too much if we don't need to, because it's quite long-winded to do root crops and carrots and all that kind of stuff with the equipment you've got. So I think it's probably a good idea to, pick a size field that will suit what we need to do. So we'll have a look first at field 60, and then we'll move over to the other two fields. So this one's field 60, which is actually a really good size, I'd say, for maybe some sugar beet and potatoes. It's only going to go in TMR. You can use, obviously the carrots are going to be for the horses, sorry, and then we're going to be doing TMR with the cows, so they could either have sugar beets or potatoes. The sheep, you can either give them sugar beets or carrots. So again, sugar beet kind of makes more sense right now than potatoes because we can actually get two uses out of it. And then you've got the pigs and stuff. If we ever get them, they use potatoes and sugar beet. So I think probably going to be doing sugar beet. I think sugar beet is probably the best bet. So we basically need a field for carrots and sugar beets. So I do like the size of field 60. So field 71 is not a bad size as well. Not bad at all. Yeah, they're actually really good sized fields, these are. They all are. We'll just go up the road and we'll have a look at the other two because they are grass fields, 70 and 71. So we might have a look at the top one to go with field 60. I think it's probably a better idea to actually get a field that's already set up for arable use. But 60 is a good size so far. Probably think 70 is a little bit bigger than what we need. It's only a touch. Let's have a look at this field here. Yeah, so it's not too bad. I mean, the only thing would be is this would be an issue when we're going through. Yeah, I think it kind of comes in too much, that does, so we won't go with that field. I think we'll get field 71 and field 60. So field 71 is 1.99 acres, so pretty much 2 acres, and it's 18,489. So we'll buy that. And then field 60, it's a little bit smaller, so it's 1.82 acres, and it's around 17,000. So there we go. I think that's a good idea, them two fields. We didn't really need field 54. It's a good size field, don't get me wrong, but we didn't need it. We definitely need to get our crops in the ground. The temperature's sitting at 5 degrees on the ground. I have changed the seasons, so I started off on 9 days. I've gone down to 6. So we're going to be playing with that. That's why it's jumped back down to early spring the first day, because it was actually the second day of spring for me. So I think what we're going to do, we'll do a U-turn, or a 3-point turn, sorry. And we'll head up to the farm with all the field work equipment, and we'll start doing some planting. And then after I've got the crops in the ground, I'll actually do some spreading then lime. I mean, I do like this truck, but it is quite big for these roads. Like I said, we'll see how we get on with it. If it does get to the point where it's just, you know, it's just too big, I'll have a look online, see if I can find another mod, more English suited truck. Right, so there we go. Right, so I did get the case, yeah, the Puma. I did get the Puma all set up. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go straight up to field 64, I think it was. Yep, 64. And we're going to get some pasture grass planted in that field. And then hopefully in summertime I'll be able to harvest at least once. I mean, the way this game works, you can obviously mow grass before it gets to head, which is realistic. So a lot of farmers don't want to, you definitely don't want to be mowing their grass when it's gone to head, because I think they lose water soluble carbohydrates, which is basically sugar in their grass. I haven't got a front weight on. I'm thinking maybe I should have got a front weight on. But we'll see how we get on. Right, so obviously I'm going to be doing some time lapses. If the time lapses are really long, what I'll probably do when I'm editing is cut little bits out so it's not as bad. Might jump back in at some point, start talking again, just so they're not long-winded. Right, there we go. So we're doing pretty well. But this field shouldn't take that long anyway. It's only a small field. Right, so what I'll do is I'll just speed this one up.
I'm colder.
into 63. Field 63. I do like how all these fields feel like really connected. So, I mean, you probably get lost and think, how do I get in there? But they do feel quite well connected. Just go and shut the gate on this one. So that went really well, actually. It definitely needs lime. You can see that it's quite pale, so it needs some fertiliser, but we can't do anything without lime first. I haven't got weeds on this gameplay, this Let's Play. I'm not going to be doing weeding or anything like that stuff. Turn that off. I just think it'd be a lot easier if we turn that off, so we've done that. Right, so we've got in field 64, pasture grass. So maize was a 61. I think I said I'm going to do a whole crop in here. So let's plant in here wheat. Barley was the 56. Oats in 53. I think we haven't missed anything. The one thing I will say about this map is it's, you know, you've really got to be doing some farm management. You've got to be thinking about what you're doing before obviously you set off, especially with seasons. So it is all about planning and thinking ahead. So I think we doing the right thing here, hopefully. So what do we want now? We want wheat and 63 for whole crop silage. Right, so let's drop that down. Turn it on, there we go. So wheat's going into this field now. So as I was saying before about the grass and the mowing, and obviously you can now mow it before it gets like to the 4th stage. So when I mean by 4th stage, I don't mean when you look on a field like this and then you go to the growth and it's got the growing colours, so you've got the different shades of green. Obviously there's 4 stages there. When you look at grass, obviously like field 51 doesn't show you that. However, if you go into the easy development mod, what you can do is you can obviously, this is what I do when I was testing out and doing my tutorial videos, you can obviously set a field at, you know, some kind of stage, so you can change the growth stages. There's 8 when it comes to wheat, so even though you actually see the 4 growth colours, so the 4 different shades of green, there is actually 8 different stages, or growth states as it says. So it's a different texture basically, you can see the growth of the crop. So you might think that you're in the final growth stage, so the darkest green before harvest, and you're actually probably only in 6 or 5, and then you have to wait for it to get to 7. 8 is withered, so that's when the crop's withered. So 7's actually ready to harvest. So that's what I mean by 4th growth stage, because with a grass, which I'll show you now, there is actually only 4 growth states. So that's the same with alfalfa, same with the pasture grass and horse grass and all that kind of stuff. So basically imagine 4th stage, or the 4th state to be with the grass has gone to head. So we could probably mow now in the 3rd. I don't think you can mow in the 2nd. The 1st would be when we've just literally planted it to the ground, so there's no crop there at all, it's just you've planted the seeds. So I think now we can start mowing at the 3rd, which probably means that we can say mow the grass more than once and maybe get a 2nd cut or a 3rd cut, because we're not obviously waiting for it to get to head, which is what most farmers don't want to do. They sometimes do it because, you know, they've not been able to cut, or it's been wet, or they've been busy doing something else, but ideally they want to try and get it before it gets to head. So that's a lot more realistic, and that's what obviously the Maize Plus brings to this kind of gameplay style. You can now obviously mow a lot sooner. So it's the same with obviously whole crop and maize. So a lot of farmers, when they're doing maize silage or when they're doing whole crop silage, they don't actually cut the crop when it's ready to harvest. So not when the corn's on the actual crop itself. You know, you wait for that stage because you're harvesting it as corn. So if you want to cut the maize down, you're pretty much doing that in the green stage, or the green state of the plant. So the good thing about this now, which I didn't show in the tutorials, probably should have, I missed that bit out, is, you know, you don't have to wait for it's ready to harvest. You can, I'm not sure exactly what stage it is yet. Obviously it's the final growth stage if you're just playing the game and you don't look in the easy development mod. So it'll be the darkest green stage before ready to harvest. It'll still be in the green state, and you can mow it. So before it starts getting, you know, say the corn for example starts getting a bit yellow, It's in its final growth stage in the green. You can obviously mow it then, so you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait at all for it to be ready to harvest. You're just basically wasting time there. And if you want to make maize silage realistically, you're cutting it you're cutting it sooner than what it is when it's ready to harvest. So that's something to keep in mind if you want to do whole crop silage and you want to do maize silage. You don't have to wait, and you can cut it pretty much as soon as you think it's at the tallest and it's still in its green stage, let's say. So it still looks pretty green. So yeah, when we do the wheat, when we harvest this wheat and we turn it into whole crop, I'll show you obviously as I play through what I mean by it and whereabouts we'll cut it at, so you can see that you don't have to wait, which means you're doing it sooner, so you're getting your maize silage or your whole crop silage a lot quicker, and also you're playing it realistic there. And also you don't actually lose any quantity, so your yields won't differ. You won't get less maize silage or less whole crop silage because you haven't waited to the end. You'll get the same amount of crop. Right, so what I'll do is I'll speed this bit up again until we get to the next field.
Sitting throwing rocks across the pavement, hoping it will cave and swallow me whole. Wondering why my mind keeps on spinning. This isn't how living to me was sold. Why am I like this? Something's always amiss. Can't put my finger on it, but it's there. Wait for it to subside, but my mind won't apply. Waiting for the clear. Is it bad? Sometimes I like it when I lose control. There's something in it that's so beautiful. I can see the light.
Right, so that's that field done. So this is going to be, like I said, the wheat that we're going to be using for whole crop silage. So we've pretty much done the whole crop silage field, and we've now done the pasture grass, so we can make some bales from that, or hay, whatever we feel like doing. So pretty much what we've got left is we're going to do maize in 61, and we need to do oats in 53, and then some barley in this field. And then we need to do sugar beets in 71 and carrots in 60. So we can't plant maize yet because with the temperature of the ground's not right. We can't plant actually oats as well because I think oats is 6 degrees. I'm right. Where am I? Yeah, there. So oats is 6 degrees. We can't do that. So we can do the barley and we can do the sugar beets. And I think we can do the carrots. So the barley and carrots we can do with this seeder. There we go. It's a big field, very big field. So this will definitely give us some profit. And there we go. So there is some good fields on this map. The one thing I will say is the fields are actually really impressive. I think that's what makes the map itself, obviously without Maize Plus, because that just obviously shines it, makes it, puts a light basically on it and makes everyone want to play it because of them features. But the map itself, like I said, the farms are small and they are quite connective, so if you want one big farm where you keep all your equipment, you're not going to get that on this map. However, if you want to, you know, play where you're travelling around and you've got separate farms for separate things, but the fields themselves, yeah, they stand out. They're quite good. The shape of them are really good, and they're all different, so they're not like carbon copies of each other. You know, you've got ones like this that they've got a dip in the middle. There's also a really good one by the biogas plant, which is quite curved, and if you look at it, it looks really good from a distance. So I like the feature of that field. And you can see in this one, the landscape itself, it's not flat or anything like that. I mean, we're going up a bit of a bank now. But they are all different shapes and sizes. Right, so what I've just realised, like an absolute tool, is I've been putting wheat in here. But it doesn't matter. We basically wanted some kind of field where we're going to get some, you know, profit from and some straw. So we still get that, but I did want to try and do some barley. But oh well, we're doing wheat now. We're doing 2 fields of wheat. So yeah, I should pay attention a bit more there. I've got to change the seed type. I've had a change of heart and I've set a worker going. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm quickly going to go and jump up to the spreader. And we're going to set some courseplay up on the field for the lime, while we're going to carry on that field if the worker hasn't completed it by that time. So yeah, we're probably going to be using the bigger tractor, obviously, to do this. Not ideal, but the Puma's actually being used, so I think we're using, what is it, the Optum. So the Maxim's actually probably the ideal tractor for this, but it's at the other farm. So I think this tractor will just be fine. It'll be alright. It's just a bit overkill, that's all. But yeah, I think in this series I'm going to do a lot more of courseplay and multifunctioning, just to get things on the way. I want to do a bit of, when we do the forage harvesting as well, maybe some grass silage in a pit. I'm thinking of doing courseplay setup where I follow around in a trailer. Right, so the first one we'll do will be this field, and the person behind me can wait patiently. Maybe not. Right, so I've just had an issue with the field where when I started, basically what I did was I removed the fields that had obviously harvested crop in and just turned them all to the cultivated state. And then I obviously put when you go into the development mod, I put for example lime state off, and then I knew that I had to do all the work from then on. So basically they were all just cultivated fields. Just to give me a little head start when I started the map. So then when I've been trying to spread lime, then it wouldn't take it, but it said it still needed lime. So what I've had to do was reset the state of the field. For some reason there was kind of some of an issue with it. So I've basically done it where I planted pasture grass, growth stage 1, which is what it was at, which is when I've planted the seed in, obviously. Fertiliser, well, we didn't put any on, so I left that at 0. Weeds are off because I'm not playing with weeds. And basically I've set lime back to on, and then I did it again with off. So now I can actually spread lime, but as you can see, the texture of the way it's been planted what wasn't what I did. So what I'll do is I'll have to do this in the fields after I've technically planted the crop in. If I have to do it again for lime, I'll basically just have to keep resetting the fields until they're back to normal. But I won't jump cut and I won't cheat or anything like that. I'll definitely plant it myself, and then if I have to reset it after, I will do. So we'll set this guy going, and it should work this time. There you go. So now he's spraying the lime, and as you can see, it's doing the job. So not too bad in the end. Well, this guy's flying through. Let's go back and see what he's doing. Right, so we'll take over now with this. We're probably going to have to do this in this field after, so we'll have to reset it. But if we do all the work first, then technically I know that obviously I'm not cutting corners then, really. I think it was just the fact that I messed with the fields before I started doing any work on them, because a lot of the fields needed ploughing and they needed cultivating and all that, and I thought if we get to this, if we start off where all the fields are cultivated, and then I've got required ploughing on, so I will need to do some ploughing at some point. That's why I bought a plough, but I thought it was a lot of work to start off with, to do all the ploughing on every field, so I thought we'll start with cultivating, but obviously that's created an issue. He's missed bits. The workers miss bits, so we'll have to finish them bits off. How many bits has he missed? He's missed these two and then that little bit up there. Not too bad. Right, so that's that field done. I finished that off. Again, that was really simple. Looks pretty good, but it's all going to change in a second because I'm going to have to reset it so we don't have that issue with live. So I'll show you what I do. So if you ever have this problem because you've been messing around with the fields, you know what to fix. And also, this might be a little bit of a cheat, but I'm going to actually put barley in it because I did want to put barley in it, but I made the mistake of not changing the seed type. So we will actually make that barley this time. So we want weeds is off because I'm not playing with weeds. We're going to put lime is off, and then we're going to turn it is on, and then we're going to turn it back on again. So if you see, obviously it's all changed the way the directions that I went. No hedgerow, but it's only for this once. And then what we want to do is turn it off. Do the same again. So now when we go round with the spreader, it should spread lime. Right, so what I'll quickly do is I'm going to head up to the farm. I have all the equipment. I'm going to get the cultivator attached so we can sort the field out for carrots while we're waiting for this guy to finish spreading lime. Which you can just see him over there. And when he's done that, we'll have to move him over to the wheat, where the whole crop is. Right, so what I'll do, because obviously this episode's probably going to get a little bit too long, is I'll do the cultivating, and then in the next video we'll carry on with the carrots. And hopefully the temperature will pick up and we'll carry on with all the planting and the spreading of the lime and everything. There we go. So what I'll do is I'll speed this up.
But I can also see the bones decay. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm doing my best not to run away. Sitting throwing rocks across the pavement, hoping it'll cave in and swallow me whole. Wondering how the world keeps on spinning.
Right, so I completed the field where I was cultivating for the carrots, and at the same time, as soon as I was done, the worker that was doing courseplay on this field, spread lime, finished at the same time. So before I plant the carrots in that field, in the next episode I'll carry on with all the spreading of the lime. We'll get all the fields done that way. So what I'm going to do now is going to drive this and drive the Optum with the spreader on the back to the farm, to the sheep farm right outside the house. We'll store it there because it makes more sense. Just if we need to do the barley field, sorry, across the road. Parked a bit close to the wall then. Right, so that'll be alright there. He hit me. And he did. Anyway, seems clear. Right, so let's go park this back up. There we go. But the one thing I will say, we've done quite a lot of field work today, so we've done really well. There's 2 more pits we've got, so we've got quite a lot of them now. Yeah, we have done a lot of field work, so it's been productive. But there's obviously a hell of a lot to do still. So just attach this up and then we're done for the day. Yeah, we've done quite a lot of field work, progressed really nicely, planted a few fields, still quite a lot to plant still, and obviously a lot of field work after that to do. But overall, good start to the map, and I think we've planned it out really well. Right, so I'm going to leave the video there. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, I appreciate that every single time. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this on Farming Simulator. See ya.